Hello and welcome. I've already made a video on this Shimano Deore XT M735, although the previous one was not in such good condition, and in fact this one appears to be new, so that's why I'm interested in seeing the grease that they used on the interior here on these springs. So we're going to service or at least dismantle mine. I'm not going to need to service it as it's fairly clean, and we'll put it back together again. Let's begin by removing the bolts and the smaller parts. So we'll begin by the anchor bolt. And the barrel adjuster. Next we're going to remove this screw right here. That's going to take off the jockey wheel cage. So you're going to need a Phillips screw. Recline this a little bit back and you'll have access to that screw right here. Once you've taken that off, you should be able to let go and it's going to completely recline. Now we're going to have a screw here to take off as well. Again, it's a Phillips. Very tight. You can now pull this all out. They're already using okay. They're already using Shimano grease. You can now take the spring off here for the bottom knuckle. So the other tip of that spring was on the right hand hole. You can remove this type of a seal. These are very often broken on used XT M730 35s. Let's take off the jockey wheels. We'll take off the bolts using a number 3 Allen key wrench. You can remove also the plates for the jockey wheels themselves, and there's a bushing on the inside. Used ones are generally a bit rusty and worn out. Let's take off the guide pulley. If yours still has this, you'll have a plastic cover for the top of the top knuckle. We're going to now remove the spring that's inside this top knuckle. There's a clip on the back, so you're going to need something flat to be able to get into the kind of the hole to wedge it out. Be careful of your fingers, it might pop out suddenly. Be careful also here, you don't want this to pop into your finger. Usually undo this screw. I'm not going to do that on here though, because I want to kind of leave it new for now. So I'm going to use this plier, and you should be able to just gently lift that up and it will twist round. You can now take off this plate, so you have the spring inside. Seems to be fairly symmetrical. You'll have a seal, so my one's in great condition. Usually these are quite worn out. And here you're going to have the main hanger bolt. And on the other side here you have a seal. Let's take it off for the sake of it. So that's globally everything for dismantling this derailleur. If you want to go further, there's also the limit screws right here. Your one's going to probably be dirty, so you're going to want to clean the parts up using either WD-40, some degreaser, and soapy water. As far as I'm aware, it's very difficult to remove these springs. In fact, I don't think you can. I've tried it before. It's just extremely complicated and annoying. So this derailleur is really nice. It's not as nice as the first M730 derailleur, which was a little bit more refined. This one was a little bit, let's say, bulkier. I guess it was aimed for mountain biking, obviously. So maybe that was better. I'm going to use the Shimano premium grease that I've got left over and re-grease some parts here because it's quite an old derailleur and some of the grease is obviously dried up. You don't need to use this though. You can use any lithium grease more or less, and it will suffice. So let's put some on this pivot bolt right here. Put a little bit where the seal is going to go. Let's put the seal back on. And let's run that bolt through. Alright, so the spring is going to go back into this knuckle. There's a hole that you'll see at the back, and you want to put one of those ends in. There is one bit, maybe, not really. It looks symmetrical to me. I don't think it's important what side you put it in. So aim for that hole roughly. Next you'll have this plate with the B tension screw. So there's only one hole here. Make sure to remember to put the little seal back on. In fact, I'll just re-show that. So there will be this seal here. Usually it's black. I might change color on this one. And the other tip, that spring is going to go into the hole there. You know what, I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to remove the B tension screw, and I'm going to do my usual method of putting this plate back on in front of the stopper. I don't really fancy like mucking around with that or having it fly into my fingers today. So I'm going to take off the B tension screw, and then what you're going to need is a number 2 or 2.5 Allen key wrench. Yeah, so put the shorter tip into the hole in this position, and then using your hand as a leverage, we're going to turn this around, and we want that stopper to go right in front of here. And once that reaches up to the stopper, you then start to push down until it goes in front, and then you should be able to just let go, but hold down with your finger here so it doesn't slip up. Like that. Now you're going to need the clip to go underneath that wedge right here. So grab the clip and put that underneath, and then you're going to need a plier to pinch it down. And now you can let go. We're going to put back that screw into here. Be careful here when you're putting this in, as you can damage the threading. Let's put that type of cover, dust cover, whatever it is, at the back. Grab the jockey wheel cage. You're going to have that cover to put back on. Then we have the spring. You'll see one tip is much larger and curled inwards. I'm going to put it back into the hole that I initially took it off on the right hand. I believe if you put it on the left, it's going to make it more tensioned. For the other tip of that spring, we're going to put it at the back of the hole of the bottom knuckle. So aim for that. What's really cool about the older derailleurs is that they have this screw here, whereas the newer ones didn't have that anymore. They removed that on the next version of XT derailleurs. So we're going to push down this a little bit, and that screw there, you need to we'll screw it down into the adjacent part right here. Grab this little screw bolt right here that acts as the stopper. In French, I think it's the butte. Crank this all the way back, so we were going anti-clockwise to put it back on, and you're going to need to maybe put it down on something while you open it up so that you have access to the other side here for the screw. And you should be able to now let go. You can now grab your jockey wheels. I was lucky enough not to actually need to clean them. On worn ones, normally the seals are completely gone and shot. Now you can put some a little bit of oil. I think I will put a little bit of oil between there, mineral oil. Feels too rough just like this on its own. Grab one of the jockey wheel bolts, stick that through. Should have put that beforehand before putting this back on, but we're here now. So you put the guide pulley towards the top on this side. And you grab the other side of the jockey wheel cage. We're going to aim here, and you're going to start screwing that down at a very weird angle, which is the reason why I should have done this beforehand. Okay, I've got it. Don't tighten completely down, so we'll have a little bit of movement here for the other jockey wheel. Take the bolt, run that through on one side, chuck the jockey wheel there. Now you can easily bring this back because you didn't tighten too much on the last one. I think it's this way. There. Now tighten the two sides. Definitely good idea to put, especially if your one's older, some thread locker on it, thread locker liquid, to make sure they hold down in place and they don't fall off. Stick the barrel adjuster back on. Yeah, I like the smoothness better now of these. Less friction on the pulleys. So thank you for listening, and I hope this helped you service your XT M735 rear derailleur. And until next time, peace out.